Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. Today's video I'm going to be setting up May in my reading bullet journal. So recently I got this Victoria's Secret magazine with this really pretty gray paper in the mail. I also got this red envelope with fun swirls all over it, and it really just screamed vampire to me. I've also been in the mood of reading a bunch of vampire books, so I figured it just makes sense. Let's make a vampire theme for this month. I printed out some pictures from some old vampire movies, and I'm gonna just layer them with the paper from the mail that I got just for my cover page. So these two specific movies, the one on the left is Interview with a Vampire, which has Brad Pitt in it and a couple other famous names that I can't remember, but that was a pretty good movie. It was long, it was old. I feel like old vampire movies, it's a classic. And then the one on the right is Nosferatu, which is the oldest vampire movie there is. I think it's actually the first movie that's ever been made, if my memory is correct. I watched it in my German film class in college, and it was hilarious. I don't know, I really liked that movie. So then I'm just using my zebra mild liners to draw out May, and I'm doing this like ombre technique I've seen on Instagram and a couple other YouTubers doing, where you just draw over what you've already done in the same marker. Then I'm just adding a drop shadow with another color and adding some white for some details. I thought it looked a little plain, so I'm adding some washing tape to the layering, and then I'm also adding some ripped up brown paper to the bottom. I really liked the way that it looked, even though it was a complete nightmare for me to cut off the edges. I don't know how some people do it, and it looks amazing. Also, a while ago I ripped a page out earlier in my notebook, so this page is kind of coming out. And that's why I'm doing this right now. So what I'm doing right now is folding up a piece of paper from my magazine, and then I'm going to glue it onto both pages to kind of hold it in. I thought about doing like a washi tape border to really tape it in, but this idea I thought would work better with the vibe I was going for the theme. It ended up working pretty well. However, after I was done filming, my cat thought that it was a fun idea to start scratching at my notebook, and she ended up ripping the top half of the page out a little bit. So, you know, one step forward, two steps back. So this spread is going to be a TBR spread and a stats spread on the left page. I don't usually do TBR lists, but I decided to this month because I have a couple books that I'm in the middle of, and I have a couple books that I'm excited about. So I wanted to put them a little bit in order so I'm not overwhelmed by the options. Also, I'm sorry I completely butchered that red paper with the scissors. I don't know what it is about scissors that I have such a difficulty with. So this picture that I printed is from the movie Bram Stoker's Dracula, which has Gary Oldman in it. This is another classic. If you love vampire movies, you kind of have to watch this. They actually did a remake of this movie on Netflix, which is like a 3-part movie show thing. I'm not exactly sure what it is. If I can remember what it is, I'll put the title in the description box, but it's a really good show. I highly recommend it. So I'm continuing the same lettering that I used on the title page for TBR and stats, which is like the ombre in the midliner and the drop shadows with gray, and then white pen for details. So I'm just writing out the books I want to read, which are Dead Until Dark, which is Sookie Stackhouse book. That's the book that became True Blood. I also want to finish reading Moonshine and Murder, which I was reading last month, and I want to finish Midnight Sun. I also just got A Court of Thorns and Roses in the mail, and I'm really excited about that, so I put that on my TBR list for this month too, although I'm not sure if I'm going to get to it. For my stats, it's the same thing that I did last month. I have how many books I read total, how many books I read at work, how many books I read for fun, how many pages I read, and then I added an average rating because I thought that would be fun. Also, my cat was feeling really needy right now and she wanted all kinds of attention, so she's featured in pretty much the rest of this video. I couldn't really get her off of my pages and I didn't really want to, honestly, so I tried to work around her. So this next page is going to be another spread that I did last month, which is how many pages I read each day. See, here she wants to be a part of what I'm doing so bad. She's so cute. So I'm using white pen to go over the gray paper because I thought the contrast looked really cool and I'm really happy with how it came out. This final page is the beginning of my book notes. So from here is where I list each book that I read. I usually do it by number that continues through the whole year so I know how many books I read without having to do any kind of math. So I just write the title of the book I read, the author, I give a rating, and I give a small little description, review kind of thing. Here, Chloe wanted some more pets. I recently brought her to the vet where she had to get one of her vaccines, so I think she wasn't feeling so good and she just wanted the comfort. This last picture I printed out was from another vampire movie. I can't remember what vampire movie it was, but it was a pretty good one. So here's just a flip through. Thank you so much for watching. Please leave a like, please subscribe, and I will be forever grateful. Thank you, and I'll see you next week.